It was 0-16-1, 17 straight opening days with nothing but hope and losses. And here they get a W against their former QB, no less. 26-24 is your final stat line for Mayfield. Goes 16-27, 235, 2 total touchdowns, but it was not enough as the Browns cash on the money line with an extra dime worth of value. Larry Hartstein gave out the Browns earlier on HQ. You watch, you wager, you win. All right, in studio with the two-time Super Bowl champ Bryant McFadden, and plenty to unpack out of this one, B-Mac.
Yes, sir.
Baker leads the drive, gets the field goal, looks like it's going to be the win, but it's the rookie kicker who comes up big for the Browns. What was your headline coming out of this game?
Well, just the disappointment that I saw from the Panthers defense. Nick Chubb is still running right now. He finished the ball game with 22 carries for 141 yards. They had over 200 yards on the ground, the Browns, that is. I really thought that the Carolina Panthers defense, especially the guys with their hand in the dirt, would be able to win some matchups to help the second and third level guys in their defense to be able to do what they've been called to do. But we didn't really see that. And you look at Jacoby Brissett, he didn't blow you away with his numbers, but he made timely plays, especially if you look at that last drive that led to the game-winning field goal opportunity. He was cool, he was calm in the pocket, and he was able to make some big-time throws. So I was a bit disappointed in the Carolina Panthers defense. I think Baker Mayfield, he had a few struggles throughout the ball game. We saw some rustiness from him, but yet and still he was able to come through in the clutch with some big-time plays. So I'm more disappointed in the defense from Carolina than anything else.
You know, we're not just examining the what, but the why here in week one. And the question posed to Baker Mayfield is, maybe why did he struggle early on in this game? Do you think the emotion of it all had anything to do with Baker's struggles, or is this the player we know now through 5 seasons?
The emotions, number one, but of course, working with some new guys. We saw him play a little bit in the preseason, but preseason action and real game action is two different things.
All right, more reaction rolling in from across the NFL, and for more, we head out to the site of the revenge game where Josina Anderson is standing by as Baker Mayfield was unable to get the revenge he so wanted there in Carolina against his former team. Joe, it's always a pleasure to see you. Take us through the emotions of this one from pre-games to the final whistle.
Well, I mean, you could tell this was very special to Baker Mayfield as he, came on the field. He ran out of here with a lot of exuberance. They showed his picture on the big screen. It really got the crowd going. And even though they kind of try to tamp it down, it's business as usual. Rashard Higgins said it best to me before the game that he had a lot of juice to let out. And though it didn't show in the first half, I mean, I feel like you saw the old Baker start to mount that comeback in the second half. The way he spiked the ball onto the pad, the way he got it going with that 75-yard pass to Robbie Anderson, that is the stuff that Baker is made of. And for a fact, he was in the locker room after doing his press conference, and I walked up to him as he was trying to, gather his thoughts a little bit in solace, and I was like, yo, but that's still what's in your DNA. That is the Baker that people have come to, at least know, at least when things were going well for him in Cleveland. So I think it's a very good thing that Carolina, even though they did not get the win, have that comeback to build off of, to work on for the next week. It's kind of like Kareem Hunt said after the game to me. He said, I feel like I'm too young to be having that type of heart attack, after the game with the victory basically on the foot of Cade York. And let me just give you another moment behind the scenes. So all the media were waiting, kind of in the tunnel area. And Cade York is backing up. He's getting ready to kick that 58-yard field goal. And as soon as it went in, General Manager Andrew Berry comes out of the locker room, and you could just see this sigh of relief just come over his body. He begins to give high fives to everybody, and multiple people saying to him, that's why you drafted him. And so he's able to go home with that satisfaction. 2 games at home now to perhaps build on this for a 3-0 record if they can.
Yeah, it is simply a win here in week one, and that's how it's going to be looked back upon. But so much emotion running through this one, whether it was the Baker storyline or the storyline on the Browns side of 17 years without a week one win. You sort of allude to it there, but could you sense that sigh of relief from the fan base, at least those on hand and at least those who understand the history of this franchise and their struggles here in week one?
Oh, 100%. I mean, especially having got out to a 20-7 lead in the third quarter, and relatively comfortable, and quite honestly, the media preparing, post-game wise as if the Browns were going to win. But that's why you play the game. You have to wait, and then next thing you know, all the plans change as far as interview requests and things like that. But yes, you could definitely sense that. I had an opportunity to talk to Amari Cooper after, the game as well, and he said, "This is why we drafted. You have confidence in that kid." And they didn't even blink about it. I mean, it was 13 seconds left. They technically could run one more play maybe to try to get an inch closer, but they've seen him do it so many times in practice. And what's interesting about that, too, is I think one of the Cleveland media tweeted near the end of the game that Cade York actually missed his last 3 bombs in warmups. So that was a little bit, ominous there. But he still was able to take care of it, despite the fact that he didn't do it in the last moments in practice before the game started.
You don't want to waste any of those good shots on the driving range, Josina, and he did not. You're coming up big with the game winner in this one, and we appreciate your insight as always. Taking a look at the fantasy numbers out of this one, as it was a big leg late, propelling the Browns over the Panthers. Jacoby Brissett keeping it clean, 1 touchdown, no giveaways. Got fleet of foot there for a moment, but just 12 fantasy points. And again, if you're starting Jacoby Brissett week 1, what happened in your draft? Baker Mayfield good for 235, 1-1, as the Panthers try and figure it out by week 2.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.